when that person tries to drag you down, ask yourself, if it's true, then I'm going to work on myself and so I can be a better version of who I am. If it's not true, that's her issue. It has become very, very prevalent in today's society. It's always been there, but, because society is expanding, it's morphing into a higher version of itself. As society, say, shifts and transforms into a better version to support, say, the oncoming, say, consciousness. Okay. A lot of us, unfortunately, hold on to that old version of ourselves. We want to hold on to it so tightly that we'll go back to our old standards of how we had control. And the best way to control in this scenario or in this point in time is about bullying. Right? We have to bully our way to hold on to this identity of who we are. Bullying has always happened, and there's different levels of bullying. It's about pushing others or being pushed by others. So whether you're a bully or being bullied, it's really a very complementary pattern. So, but it's the same pattern. Okay, you either need to be bullied or bully because of an identity loss. Okay? And that identity loss comes from, say, expansion of understanding or knowledge or expansion of consciousness, as I see it. That expansion of consciousness you might associate with, keeping up with technology, keeping up with the latest trends, keeping up with all those scenarios that are happening that, say, are forcing us to change ourselves at such great speeds that many of us are getting disillusioned or getting lost in the fray. Hence today's society. And what do? We tend to go back, or what we try to do is like we dig in our heels. It's like, no, I don't want to go there. So the best way to stop is to bully. Why is bullying the best way to do that? It shows that you're still confident. It shows that you're not insecure. So it's hiding your insecurities by being a bully or being bullied. If you're being bullied, you're the opposite. You don't have the strength to bully somebody, but you'll create a victimhood for yourself. And you go, look, it's because of this person that I'm being bullied. And then that's why I have an excuse not to go forward in today's society or go forward with the expansion of my life. We have to understand that bullying or adult bullying is nothing new. It's just coming up to the surface because as we raise consciousness or as we come up to another higher version of society, this bullying aspect has to, say, come up to the surface so we can do something about it. It's bubbling up, just like, say, prejudice back in the day, right? Prejudice towards, colored individuals, right? It was hidden. It was always in a society, but it got to a point that for society to move forward, that had to percolate up. All the stuff is percolating for us to go, hey, you know what? We need to resolve these problems so we can go on to a higher level of societal standards. But what do? In society, we go, no. All the stuff's coming up so we can bury it, so we can still stay the same. Okay. So let me give you an example that'll work with at an individual level, at a group level, and at, say, country level, and then at a human level. You fall in love. Okay. So you're dating, right? You're dating somebody, you start to realize that you're falling in love. As soon as you start to realize you're falling in love, what happens to you? All your securities start to show up. You go, God, I'm falling in love, but what if they find about this? What if they know about my past? What if about this? I'm wonder if they're going to like me. Again, all those insecurities show up. And then what do? And this is why it's the same reason why love doesn't work. And it's the same reason why bullying doesn't work either. So what do is like we bury that. It's like, I hope that person never finds out about it. I'm going to lie about it. I'm going to bury it. I'm going to change my past, my identity, and so on. Whatever that we do. Again, the key is that it's coming up for us to show us that, you know what, if you want to stay in that momentum of love, you need to heal these wounds, these issues that you have deep inside you so you can stay at this level. But since we bury it, we sink with it. And then that's why that love relationship doesn't work. In today's society, you replace love by bullying. Okay, so bullying is a tactic that we've used again, back in the day, to hold on to those weaknesses. It works. Even if you Google bullying, it's a lot to do with childhood bullying. In fact, there's a lot of laws on childhood bullying, but there's not a lot of laws, although there's more and more coming up on, say, adult bullying. And so that child that was either bullied or a bully as a child, it's not that it just magically disappeared, when they got older and they got over it. It didn't. It just, say, morphed into, say, another behavior that got covered. Simple as that. And that's why this prevalence of bullying, adult bullying, is showing up. And it's so much easier with today's social media. Somebody can be on the background. They don't have to face consequences. They can morph into any personality. Again, that alter ego that they've always wanted to be, and then destroy somebody else's life. As society, say, awakens to a higher level of self, we have to clear this away. And this is where, governments, not knowing better, not understanding that we have to go forward in a society, they're trying to bury it, right? They're thinking that they're losing control of its citizens. So what do? They pass down mandates, they pass down laws, they start wars. If you've looked in history, when a society feels really, really insecure, they'll start a war. If you look at the history of war, there's always been, say, a nation, a country that has been very insecure, or again, the economics is faltering, they'll start a war. So one of the biggest reasons for war. Yes, it's about conquering, again, which is bullying patterns. There are many ways that you can do it or get the resources that you need without destroying other countries. Unfortunately, that's what we do. Let me just break down. So we talked about, say, the country level, but let's break it down to, that person and that those individuals who created, like, Silicon Valley and a lot of the technological companies. A lot of those kids they were kind of nerdy, right? They were the outcast. So what did they do? They go, damn it, when I grow up, I'm going to show the world that I am something. Again, a victim mentality, right? They grew up, they created strength, which is great. It was that stick and even that carrot that showed them. But what happens is that stick and carrot, or that, say, victimhood, has now morphed into a bullying pattern. So that's why I say bullying, whether you're being bullied or the bully, it's all the same pattern. And that's where it morphs in. So that person that was being bullied, that was the outcast, they show the world. They become highly intelligent, right? Which is really fantastic. They become very successful. They make a lot of money. They have a technology that now controls people, but they can't get away from that pattern the way they're doing it. I mean, I work on individuals, top level CEOs, and highly successful people that are running this bullying pattern or victimized pattern. It's like, Mas, I can't stop it. I can't help it. So, and some of the side effects, again, is from, say, a victim to, say, a highly successful individual that has a technology that can control people. Well, that pattern keeps, say, magnifying. So they get bullied by the notion that they're still getting bullied. So they didn't resolve the inner turmoil. So what that means is that they have to, say, project it outwards. So that victim, because bullying worked back in the day, right? Being a victim, it's like, what I'll do to feel secure, because they think that bully is more secure than the victim. They'll start to, say, indoctrinate, or they'll start to use the bully patterns. So that victim turns now into a bully, and they'll start to control, again, the people. They'll start to destroy their employees. They'll start to destroy the economies. So what happens to those individuals is they get vengeful, or they take revenge upon themselves, and they have to show or create more power or start to become a bully. So it's the revenge upon themselves going, shit, this didn't solve the issue that I had back when I was younger. Love, money, success, intelligence, all those are magnifiers. It's like now it just magnified the weaknesses that I was. So what do? They take revenge upon themselves, and then they would bully, other people to feel like they're in control, but then that doesn't work. You have to understand why that person is pulling you down, right? And this is how society works. And this is why successful individuals, one of the, say, the journeys or say the signposts that you're successful is that you're going to get attacked. You're going to get bullied. No matter who you are, no matter what industry you are, you're going to get bullied, or, people are going to try to destroy you. Why is that? Because most everybody in today's society has an external point of view on how successful or how complete they are. Again, that external point of view is how much money you have. Your value is based on money. Your value is based on intelligence. Your value is based on looks. That's what the way the society is, right? Your value is based on what you can add to society. Okay, that has to change, and it is changing, especially with what's happened with COVID. So when you're a kid or you're younger or you're an adult, now what happens is that you start to elevate, you start to escalate the success ladder. Well, if somebody is reflecting their environment on how successful they are, okay, you're at the same level, right? Your best friend happens a lot. Your best friend is or your lover, your partner, and so on, right? You're at the same level, and then you start growing and expanding. You're here now. Although they didn't change levels, their life or their identity of self looks a hell of a lot worse. Everything gets magnified because they see themselves from your point of view, and their life looks crappy compared to from your point of view. So what do? It's like they don't know how to, say, elevate themselves. Fortunately, they can ask, they can connect, right? But they don't. What do? They get jealous, they get envious, whatever. So what do? They break you down so they can come back down to a level of comfort. So that's the logistics or science behind why people do what they do to pull people down. It happens a lot in families, right? People are trying to go out there, trying to make it. And it's like, shit, you'll never make it. You're not good enough. You're not, you've got that funny tooth or whatever it might be. You're never going to be that star that you want to be. And then poof, they become that star. And then the family, what do the family do? It's like, I always knew you had it in you. You get a lot of those scenarios as well. So at first it's like, they'll pull you down so they don't look good, but then they'll ride your coattails because it's like, shit, they did it. They must know how to do it. I want to follow them. So that's that scenario. When that person tries to drag you down, ask yourself, okay, is it true? Well, is it true? If it's true, then I'm going to work on myself so I can be a better version of who I am. If it's not true, that's her issue. So if you're getting bullied, if you're getting criticized, if you're getting, say, knocked down, is there an aspect of you that's in there that needs to become more secure or more stable or healthier? And it's amazing. So they're looking at you from a very different point of view. Yes, critical, but being critical about yourself, removing the emotional pattern, they're giving you an honest feedback on, well, how you can improve yourself. Whatever scenario that's happening for them has no concern to you. And I want to stress that. And this might get off the subject, but it's literally the same. Say that you have an alcoholic, say, partner. Okay. Or, they have a bad day, so they drink alcohol, they abuse you. So in that scenario, it's like, well, because they're alcoholic or they had a bad day, it's okay for them to abuse me. That has to stop. It is not okay. So one, what is it in you that you're not respecting? So always ask yourself is like, what pattern? And again, it's a pattern. It's nothing to do with you. I'm talking about, hey, I just want to get rid of this damn pattern that's allowing people like that to, again, take advantage of me or abuse me. It's a pattern inside you. So you ask, what pattern is it in me that's allowing this to happen? And then you'll start to see that there's a lot of self-respect that comes forth in you. Okay. And then you just won't handle it anymore. Your frequency dictates that, hey, I'm not going to take that shit anymore. And then they try to, say, attack you or abuse you, and it just doesn't work. You'll look at them and it's like, well, what are you doing? Because again, you can't resonate. You're like a mountain of who you are. You stand there strong. They can't distort you. They can't destroy you. They can't knock you over. That's how powerful it is. It's a great time right now for clarity, for the meek to inherit the world. And the one thing I really want to stress, guys, it's not like, there's a saying, the strongest man does nothing. That kind of pattern has to end. No, we have to speak up. We've tried that. You have to speak up. You have to, but not from a weak standpoint, not from a fighting back standpoint, but again, a clear, strong version of who you are, right? And then, you take actions physically to stop it. You don't take it from a victim mentality or somebody who is an underdog mentality. Those things don't work anymore, right? Or you don't take it from that benevolent mentality, right? Where it's just like, well, you just love that person and then it'll be okay. No, nature doesn't do that, guys. Nature does not do that. Nature, that person or that individual, whatever frequency that you're running, will have to face the consequences of their actions. It's not your fault. It's not your issue, nothing like that. It's about you strengthening yourself. That person, say, destroying people or bullying people, will have to face the consequences of their action. Just like you, who are a victim, you'll have to face the consequences of, say, being a victim pattern. Even if you've done things in the past, there will be consequences for you. And it's not there to punish you. It's there to remove those frequencies from you. Most people are, say, displaying a weak version of themselves. When you stand up in this scenario, the XI way, stand up and look in the mirror. Okay? Stand up and look in the mirror and look what you're reflecting. Those weaknesses will show through for you. And it's like when you look in the mirror and when you're standing up, it's like, whoa, now I can see why, I'm getting pushed around or bullied or whatever it might be. And then fix that. And then you turn around and then you face the world. You face your people. You face whoever. So once you solve for that pattern, multitudes will gravitate to that solution. And that's how human consciousness works. So once I solve it for humanity, you'll see a lot of, say, transformations happening.